Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start by giving our praises, glory, and honor to the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. My name is Willie LePark for the Cat Prophets in Babylon, down here in Tempe, Florida. And I want to give double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the ones listening in. And I want to get into a quick lesson. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect and the ones listening in. And I'm gonna title this lesson, You Must Keep Your Mind. All right. Keep your mind. Because Satan is constantly after it. Satan's constantly, coming against you, when it comes to your mental. All right. A lot of times brothers can be overwhelmed, go through certain things, be stressed out. And the things that's stressing you out are overwhelming you. Satan uses to destroy your mind in order to get you to, fail from the belief. Okay? So, it's ultimately in the spirit, I was just meditating on this because I was thinking about times where, brothers would have a lot on their plate. Okay? And the Lord will give you a lot. And Satan will try to make that whole lot that the Lord has trusted you with to seem as a burden unto you. But really it's a blessing. Okay? Because what the Lord gives you, whether, you gotta deal with a lot of responsibilities in this truth, and that in your household, to be able to take care of those things, you gotta be a leader, and that's what the Lord is creating us to be. Okay, and a leader must have a strong fortitude, over his mind, a mental fortitude, so he can be able to lead, all right, and not be persuaded by other, people or the people he's leading, So this is the first precept I want to get. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. It says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. All right. So keep your heart, man, with all diligence. Keep your mind. Keep, your conscience. Okay. Because that can really, destroy your life. If you allow it to, if you allow Satan to continue to disrupt your mind, all right, or, play with your mind, but at the same time, it can bring prosperity in this truth if you just keep it with all diligence. If you guard your heart from Satan's deceptions and his demons and demonic forces that Satan used to sift brothers out. All right, you have to guard your mind, man. You have to put a strong guard over your mind to where you no longer a strong guard of your mind to where you can no longer be, all right, easily tempted by Satan in the flesh. All right, because Satan uses the flesh as well. All right, the flesh is what Satan uses, okay, to continuously, get at you, okay, because once you're being overwhelmed or you're stressed out, it's the flesh that's complaining, but the spirit is always being renewed. All right, the spirit is always becoming, all right, stronger through the affliction, stronger through the stress and the overwhelming, and when it's a lot on your plate, the spirit is growing, okay, but it's the flesh that's hurting, and your flesh is continuously trying to make you give up, trying to tell you, just let it all go, you don't gotta do this, you don't gotta be that type of person, all right, and that's something, you can't listen to, so in the NLT, it says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. So your heart determines the course of your life. Your mind, it determines the course of your life. If your mind is continuously in a mode of depression or doubting or just negativity, that's what's going to, come to light. That's what's going to come to your life. All right. It's everything you hold within your mind, everything you think of yourself, everything you doubt about yourself. That's what comes to life. All right. But if you continuously guard your mind, continuously think upon the Lord, continuously have that positive mindset, all right, that's what's going to allow you to grow, all right, and overcome the barriers that Satan tries to put upon you, all right, the limiters that Satan try to limit you with, because through the Spirit, it ain't no limiters, man. All right, we can continue to grow in righteousness. Okay, no matter how much hell you catching or how much you're overwhelmed, you can overcome that. All right, you just got to put your mind to it. You gotta have you have the Spirit in you, but you gotta have your mind in it as well, man. All right, to where you're not self-doubting yourself or putting yourself down to where to the point where you can't even, all right, prosper in this truth. Where it's holding you back. Okay, let me get that. This is Psalms 94. I'm gonna get verse 19. This is Psalms 94 and verse 19. It says, when doubt or Salakia, I'm gonna get in the KJV, then the NLT. It says, in the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul. So the multitude of our thoughts, a lot of brothers, a lot of brothers deal with that overthinking, thinking too hard or thinking too deep into certain things, and it messes you up, and you're thinking so hard, you're thinking about everything, all right, but mainly the bad. All right, a lot of times you think about the bad, and when you overthink, all right, you have something you think about, all right, and you deeply think about it, okay, to where you start to put all the possibilities of things going wrong, all right, instead of things going right for you, just depending on the Spirit you have on you, all right. Overthinking can be a good thing, all right, or it could be a bad, ultimately, no, honestly, just having a mind to where you can meditate, all right, that's what's the good part about it, man. Your imagination, to meditate on the kingdom and certain things like that, all right. But a lot of times overthinking can be really bad, man. A lot of brothers, deal with it, and a lot of times I dealt with it. A lot of times I felt it, and it was like, you have those multitude of thoughts and of everything just crowding your mind. And if you just give yourself, to the Lord, and you surrender it to the Lord, you will have comfort. All right? You will have that comfort from the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because once you start thinking about the Lord, start thinking about the truth from the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man, it brings you peace. The niggas of this world, they don't have that comfort, okay? So a lot of times they overthink, and they get so deep until they become into a point of depression. And that point of depression become demons, heavy demons, plaguing their mind till Jake end up offing themselves or something, man. But we have the Lord, man. And we have something to look forward to. These niggas don't have much to look forward to here. All right? And whatever they do look forward to it's not going to be forever. Okay? So ultimately, we have the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to comfort us, to give us that comfort, to give us, that hope, to keep that hope in us. All right. In the NLT it says, "When doubts filled my mind, your comforts gave me renewed hope and cheer." So when doubts filled our mind, the Lord's comforts give us renewed hope, all right, and cheer in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. You start opening up the scriptures. A lot of times, brothers will tell you, bro, you going through certain things, bro. Pray to the Lord first, bro, before you go to anybody else. Go to the Lord. Pray to the Lord. Surrender it into the Lord, all right, and open up your scriptures, man. Have a class, all right, to where you're supping with the Lord and fellowshipping within your spirit, okay? And that's what's going to bring you that comfort and that renewed hope, and you're going to have that remembrance of what what you about to gain, man. Okay? When you think about what we're going to gain from the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, with the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding that we're already gaining now, and then on top of that, the Lord's going to bless us with salvation. These things bring comfort into our minds, man. These things bring peace unto us, all right? Because we understand this hell ain't forever, man. What we're going to gain is going to be way better, to the point where we think of this hell like we can go through this time and time again, okay? Let me get that real quick. Isaiah 26 and verse 3. Let's bring that out. So Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3. It says, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee." So the Lord will keep you in perfect peace. Keep your mind in perfect peace if your mind is stayed upon the Lord, because you trust the Lord. So Satan will try to come at you with different things to, destroy your mind, to destroy you. All right, but your mind is constantly thinking upon the Lord. Your mind is constantly on the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and trusting the Lord. You're going to be in perfect peace through the storm. You're going to even be at peace through the storm, man. You're going to be content through the storm, through the hell. You're going to understand, okay, man, these afflictions ain't nothing, man. I know what the Lord built me for. The heavier the hell, all right, the better the outcome. And that's how brothers look at it. Like, damn, bro, the heavier and worse this hell get, the afflictions get, the better the outcome at the end, the brighter the light at the end of the tunnel. All right, it says you will keep, in the NLT, it says you will keep perfect peace you will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you. All right, so the Lord will keep you in perfect peace. Keep your mind, all right, as long as your mind and your thoughts are fixed on the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. As long as you trust in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man, all right, you're going to be good, man. Okay? So we have to keep our minds in this truth, Akim, where we not too much giving ourselves over into the doubts and the things of this flesh, the lust of this flesh. You got to be able to overcome this thing, man. All right? And the best way to overcome it is with, keeping the Lord, keeping your mind fixed on the Lord, keeping your thoughts fixed on the Lord, man. All right? Brothers go through certain things where, anger, all right, lust, all these different demons that will plague your mind and destroy your mind. All you got to do, man, all right, is fix your thoughts on the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Every time these demons try to attack you, call upon the names of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And the Lord will bring you perfect peace. So with that, I just want to get into a quick lesson on that. Lord willing, you Akim were edified. And I want to give out the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Once again, the bonus elders and apostles, a great millstone who teach